Hi, my name is Sandy Butcher. I'm the Chief Executive of the National Organization for FASD here in the UK. And I want to speak to you from my heart about the recent Saturday Night Live skit, The Winter Formal. I've tried to ignore this because I thought it was mostly something that only aired in the US. And while I am American and have been living in England for a long time, I didn't think that it was on air over here, but it is. It's on Sky Comedy. It's showed last Sunday night, and it's going to show again on Friday the 21st and Saturday the 22nd of January, and it's also available on live stream from Sky Comedy. So it is an issue for over here. If you're not familiar with the skit, it's about a family who's offering an all service it's about you can come to them to prepare for a winter formal, and your daughter might need a limo or a dress or a corsage. They can do that, but they can also provide their son Donovan as a way to ensure that your daughter's never going to have to worry about having sex, and he's not going to try anything because he's got certain issues. And as they go through the skit, they deal with all sorts of things, ranging from, that he's got sleep problems, that he's got hygiene challenges, that has problems making friends, and he gets nervous in social situations. They talk about, his inability to control his emotions, his unusual love of one particular song that makes him just want to dance. They're very cruel when they talk about some of the hygiene issues and incontinence issues. I mean, all in all, it's just mocking this young person who clearly has some challenges. And at the end of the skit, the mother says, and if you're wondering why he's like that, it's because I drank in pregnancy. So this is just a real punch in the gut to anyone who knows or loves or is supporting somebody with FASD, and I can't even imagine the impact that this would have on people with FASD themselves. It bothers me so much that I've gone out of my way to do everything I could to try to ensure that my son wouldn't see this. And even me doing this video means that it's going to probably come to his attention. And then I'm going to have this completely unnecessary conversation with him about how cruel people can be in this world to people who have differences and whose brains don't work the same way as other people's brains, and who might have other sorts of disabilities and challenges. This isn't funny. This isn't comedy. This is cruel, and it just shows and perpetuates the stigma that still exists out there. It shows it's portraying a certain kind of perspective on what kind of women might drink during pregnancy. That's completely wrong and damaging. It creates this idea that it's okay to mock people who might have had their brains or bodies damaged by prenatal alcohol exposure. It is pretty much the most disturbing thing I've ever seen about portraying somebody with FASD, and it just makes me so sad. And while I'm so hopeful that there are so many changes that are happening here in the UK now, we've got new statements from the Department of Health, we've got the nice quality standard coming, we have Public Health England, now OHID, calling it a public health priority. There are so many things that are positive that are happening out there, and to have something like this that just shows how important it is that we need FASD to be more in the public. It's not enough just for policymakers to issue these papers that very few people read. We need public people to talk about FASD. We need people to understand that it's no joke. It's not something to make fun of. It's not okay to let one of the major comedy TV shows, to present this as if this is okay and to normalize mocking people with a brain-based disability. FASD is at its root a brain-based disability. The brain was affected by the alcohol in utero, and that person who was affected, well, it doesn't happen every time. It does happen in some cases, and there's not a doctor in the world who can say which woman, when drinking alcohol in pregnancy, will have a child with FASD. It's out there. It's prevalent. There was a recent study that showed that it affects more people than autism. it's out there, and it's just not okay to joke about it, and we need to do everything we can to change that. So I urge you, if this affects you, to please send a note to Ofcom. We're including in this message how to do that. I urge you to get out there and tweet, to let Saturday Night Live, to let Sky know that this isn't okay, and most of all, to just protect your loved ones with FASD and to show them that this is not how we see them. This is not how mainstream society sees them. This is just a bunch of people with a really sick idea of what's funny, and they're wrong. It's just not funny because FASD is no joke. Thank you. We can change this.